What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special Pete's Basement episode. Adam joins us again. And for those of you who don't know Adam, Adam was one of the originators. Adam is the guy in the front of the intro clips that, like, everybody writes in and says, "Who the fuck is that guy?" That's that guy!
And as a condition of my parole, I have returned.
He's allowed out like once a year to come on the Pete's Basement show and have some Brooklyn pizza and shit.
After this, they send me back into far corners of the basement next to the boiler and feed me fish heads once a month.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads.
It's true. It's what makes my wonderful skin color.
Oh my god.
And didn't miss that even a little.
All right, before God, that smells like fruit.
Rotting fruit. Rotting fruit that you ate out of a corpse's ass. What is that smell?
How did you know? It's the latest delicacy in Brooklyn.
That I knew, actually.
Yeah,
I knew about that.
Hipsters will eat anything.
Yes, it was.
Before we start, we got Alex Milko, who wrote in first with the correct answer. Zartan was the guy who killed the Hard Master. And
leave it alone.
Alex also did say an honorable mention goes to Austin Haygood as well.
The Hard Master.
The Hard Master. There's also the Soft Master.
Why do you do that?
And the Blind Master. So why don't you just cook up a nice little R-rated tale in there?
R-rated? All I'm saying is with the Hard Master and the Soft Master, we know why the Blind Master is blind.
He walked in on something?
Well,
that which has been seen
venture to say
cannot be unseen.
I was going to say that...
figure out which...
And I would venture to say that his calluses have calluses, if you know what I mean.
I've got an idea. Right. Let's play Who's in My Mouth.
Huh? Wrong turn. Just wrong turn.
And just went right off a cliff.
I've never actually made you speechless before.
That was good. That was very good. I'm crying inside in my ouchie place. All right.
Austin Haygood gets honorable mention along with Alex Milko, who won the contest, for saying that Zartan did mistakenly kill the Hard Master. He was not aiming for him.
Well, we didn't say who purposely killed him.
I feel like that is true.
But that's just a nice little bit of G.I. Joe trivia. He was aiming for Snake Eyes.
Every time Pete says the Hard Master,
take a shot.
Not just any shot, but also a shot.
Certain precincts can play this game.
Yeah, not all. Not all.
Oh, man.
Now he's going to try to find ways to
As a matter of fact, that
Master.
just gave me a great idea for a question for our 300th episode, for when, you know, we try to get some revenge on you.
And they having it. That's not happening.
Better study your G.I. Joe, motherfucker.
I'm leaving the country.
We got some questions to go over. Drew Ward wrote in and said he and his wife are going to New York Comic Con this year. Drew, we'll see you there. Be sure to stop by. His wife does not read comics, but she has agreed to read one comic book before Comic-Con. Drew, first of all, I want to assure your wife that she will have a blast at Comic-Con, if only to, A, make fun of the geeks that absolutely deserve to be made fun of because they are there, and we at the Pete's Basement Show try to separate ourselves from those slovenly humans.
Oh, you did last year when you were like...
Well... but and the costumes that people dress in, it's an art form all its own, cosplay. Your wife's going to have a blast, don't worry.
So when he's looking at ass.
And if she's anything like my wife, she'll enjoy punching out the little vixens dressed in cosplay suits who maybe look a little too provocative and get at least slightly within your personal boundaries of 1 to 2 feet. Which, according
safe zone?
Safety zone. Yeah. That's a buffer area. You don't go near that.
So... Drew wants to know what comic should his wife read if she's only going to read one comic.
Comic, graphic novel, what?
Pick a story, bro.
Bro.
I don't know.
Bro. Hey. What?
Come on. Better than bruh. Hey. When people say bruh, that really...
That's fucking stupid.
Annoys the shit out of me, yeah.
Really? Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyrese, why did they ever let you in Fast and the Furious?
I have a good answer, bro. My answer is the one that my wife gave me, which when I gave her comic books and got her into the medium... it had nothing to do with the sulfuric acid vomit belch that you just zapped me into the fucking negative zone with. Fallen Angel by
J.K. Woodward and
Peter David.
And Peter David.
Peter David. J.K. Woodward is the current artist, but you can go back to the original one too if you're not a fan of comic books in general, superheroes or any of this other stuff. Fallen Angel is just a really fun, good fantasy ongoing story. It's got biblical parables. It's got really smart banter. It won't make her think that... You know, you basically just spent your entire youth sitting alone in your basement masturbating to Flash comics and Sears catalogs.
They had a nice bikini section in the Sears. The Sears catalog used to be like this. Anyway, what was, you shut up. What would be your one comic for Drew's wife?
Hardmaster.
It's gotta be. It's like a
Fables.
YouTube mom.
Fables?
Fables.
Why Fables?
It's not very superhero-ish. It does talk about actual fairy tales, like Cinderella. You fucking hardmaster bastard.
The Hardmaster, Cinderella, and the
Look, this
Hardmaster.
one pops up in my head. Hardmaster. Red Riding Hood, Big Bad Wolf. They're all in it. They're all done very
Big Bad
well.
Big Bad
so-
Wolf. This already sounds like something that would happen down in the meatpacking district.
Seen that YouTube video, right, with the Big Bad Wolf, the guys with the faces on their crotches?
Have not seen, do not feel the call. Have not felt the call. Just
That's a
saying.
weird commercial. That's a
It's a
commercial.
fucking weird commercial. What about you,
Especially
Steve?
for tampons, right?
Yeah.
What would you go with?
Superhero or anything? I don't know.
Whatever you want.
I don't know,
She's got to
it's
read
hard.
one comic.
Because it's
It's
depends
hard.
on
It's a masterfully
depends what she
hard
likes. I mean, I
question.
don't know.
Masterfully hard. Hardmaster? Look at you!
See, I'm learning.
No.
Oh,
Go ahead.
foiled.
I mean,
I've got a few answers too, because I can never just come up with one.
I don't know. Goon depends if she likes that kind of stuff.
Somebody's
Not
playing
bad.
favorites.
Yeah.
Chew.
Chew? Is it?
Chew is really
Chew.
good.
Well, don't you
Chew?
want something that has a beginning and an end, though? Not that
Everything that has a
Goon
beginning
does.
has an end, Steve.
No, but
Neo.
Chew hasn't finished yet.
No,
Everything
you
that
usually started.
Clearly, you never watched soap operas. Hellboy might be a good one. Those are
Hellboy's
short,
The
encapsulated
opening
stories.
section, like the opening,
Story.
series.
Dark Knight, the original Dark Knight Returns.
I don't care
is-
for it. You need to be familiar with Batman before you.
I mean, this is just a
No,
really
no.
good. It's a really
It's a good
Batman
story, but
and the
if you don't know
artwork's good.
anything
I think
about
most people
Batman,
are
you're not
familiar
going to
with
get the
Batman.
concept of the Joker snapping his own neck, Superman being a
Vendetta.
slave to the man.
V
V
for
for
Vendetta.
Vendetta is
It's
entirely
hard.
too
That's a
fucking
hard-
complicated.
Yeah, that's a hard
man.
read.
Really?
That's a very hard
Shit.
read. Yeah, because you got to be able to sit. Aside from,
I have three answers.
Get past the philosophical bullshit about crypto anarchy and all that other shit. It's a very long rambling story. I think.
Here's
you
my
gotta be
three.
able for that.
I always tell anybody that if they've never read a comic book before, Watchmen's the way to go, simply because it is a classic, it is a beginning and an end, because you can get in touch with these characters, get to know them, and then the ending is the ending, and it's done. It's
go
not
with that.
very superhero-y, you get a little bit of politics, if you grew up in the 80s especially, it's something good for you. My mother read it, my mother's barely ever read a comic book in her life. Christ. I had my ex-girlfriend read it, she actually thoroughly enjoyed it, gave it to her sister and her sister's boyfriend. You still smell the fruit, don't you?
I know there's a God. You know how I know there's a God, Ramon? Because I haven't smelled that in a very long time. And that's how I know there's a God, and he's a loving God. When you belch, that loving God turns vengeful. Do you understand what I'm saying here, Ramon? Do you understand?
Basically, you've just caused a famine somewhere in darkest
Somewhere in
Africa.
this world, you have created a biblical plague with that.
I haven't repped this bad in a long time, and it's all your fault.
Somewhere in the Gowanus, fish are turning up dead.
Oh, they always turn up dead.
Also, possibly one of Pete's former neighbors.
Eh.
Neither here nor there.
I'm also going to go with, if you want to go superhero, The Killing Joke is probably the best Batman story you'll ever encounter. It's classic Joker, it's insane, and it's absolutely one of my favorites.
Also very fucked up.
Yeah.
Also incredibly fucked up.
And if your wife has any kind of fucked up sense of humor, which if she married you and you're dragging her to Comic-Con against
She
her
must.
best
I'm
wishes,
assuming it's against her will.
yeah, she's got to have you've got to be funny or rich, dude. Or incredibly good looking, but if you're reading comic books,
or,
chances
let's
are
be
you're
fair,
not.
hung like a giraffe.
Yeah.
And you are the
Hard master. He's getting his own sitcom.
I'm just
on
fucking
Cartoon
with you,
Network.
Drew. But seriously, if your wife has any kind of sense of humor at all, let her read Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. That is seven
That's not too
of the
crazy.
most hilarious comic books she will ever read.
Oh, no,
and if
you know
you've
what?
never read it, get on it.
I'm fucking up. There's also one other one that would probably also be very good. The Crow.
The Crow is, the original James O'Barr
The
one.
original James O'Barr, The Crow, is an incredibly easy read.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing with The Crow is that, it's a very gothic story, and some people say it created the gothic genre of.
It's got everything. He kind of got the whole love story that maybe
and
she
you got
would like.
great
and-
action, and the artwork's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing of it is that supposedly J. O'Barr's girlfriend was killed in a car accident or hit by a car, and that inspired him to write this really dark story. And it's amazing, and it's one of the only comic books I've seen faithfully adapted. It was Brandon Lee's last movie. I just recommend it. It's a great graphic novel.
Cool.
Jesus,
what?
I thought I heard Jesus.
Ducks.
Also ducks. Another question.
The True Noel wanted to know where did I get my G.I. Joe T-shirt. Bud, just go on eBay. Search whatever kind of T-shirt you want. He-Man, Skeletor, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, T-shirt, or even just pop that in there, and then on the left-hand side get the categories and just go to men's clothing. You're done. You'll find dozens upon dozens of T-shirts.
Shopping for clothes on eBay.
Josh Frutos wanted to know, he's just getting into G.I. Joe, and what comics should I start with, and is there anything else that I should kind of backtrack with? Get the start of IDW's most recent series.
Really
just
good.
start at #1 from there, and I think you'll be able to keep up pretty nicely. You could also backtrack to the series before this, which was
they weren't that lengthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't that long. It introduced Serpentor. It was G.I. Joe #1, whatever, and then there was G.I. Joe Cobra as well, and that was like a 6-issue mini, and then there was another 6 issues after that, and then Cobra Island exploded. That was the death of the original Cobra Commander, who we never knew who he was.
You just love talking about G.I. Joe.
Dude, I love G.I. Joe, man. Let's get on to the first book over here, which was G.I. Joe, The Cobra Files, #1. I want to know what you thought of this, because I got you into the last
Yeah, you did, you
two
fucking
sets.
bastard. Dan, Ghostbusters, you miserable fucks. I don't read enough books a week. This isn't as jump one friendly as the other ones were.
That is true. You need to know
You
a
need to
little
know
bit
who these
more
characters
about
are. I read it too.
Chameleon and what she went through.
No, even like the twins, Tomax, is he
One of them's
working
dead.
for G.I.? What? I didn't know none of this shit.
Tomax is alive, Samat's dead, and
How you doing?
basically
He's an asshole.
he is a total
he's a
asshole.
total
They were
cunt.
assholes in the
Yeah,
cartoon show.
yeah.
By the way, Josh, you could backtrack through the cartoons. They are on Netflix. It's a little bit more childish. But you will get some background to the characters, especially in the second season. And IDW is trying to do a good job of introducing each of these characters as they go on. But in this one, this guy, he's basically turning snitch for the Joe team. He's not a Joe by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just trying to save his own ass. Because fuck it, you killed my brother, you dirty rat. You killed him, and he don't want to be fucking dead. Cobra's gonna kill him anyway for turning traitor. So, and he's got his own agenda going on too. But right now, we see Chameleon, and she's just fucking touched in the head. They send her on a mission to kind of judge her psychological profile, and she pretty much fucks that up for herself.
Horribly.
She was like, Flint, who is he's a warrant officer. He's one of my favorite Joes. He's the leader of this particular. I won't call it a team, but it's this book. He's like the main character, or whatever. This unit.
Did she shoot him point blank though, and he's alive?
Well, maybe she had a shaky hand. I don't know. Fucking crazy things have happened.
Hey, isn't Flint dating Lady J?
I don't know if they're dating.
I confused. Who's fucking who on G.I. Joe?
Scarlet. Well, since Snake Eyes kind of turned traitor against the Joe team, Scarlet's been hooking up with Mainframe. I guess it's better than Duke. Duke was an asshole anyway. But
I'm leaving that alone.
Either way. Let's move on. X-Zero came out from Dark Horse Comics, and all X is... This is a repeat of... A repeat.
Reprints?
Reprint, thank you.
You're welcome.
Of the 3 issues of Dark Horse Presents that X was... It was 19, 20, and 21.
They did the same thing with him, that little robotic kid with a 13 on his head.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to tell you something. I remember... For anybody old enough to remember... Dark Horse did a whole superhero universe back in the 90s when you could print on toilet paper and people would buy it for $2.95. But X was one of the longest running books at the time, and it was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
I mean, basically his whole you don't even know his backstory. Basically, you just know that he's like the Shadow crossed with Batman, crossed with Snake Eyes, crossed with...
The Punisher.
Crossed with the Punisher. I mean, he's every like sort of cliche of like your dark, bad... anti-hero, like times 12, and the art's great, and the story's well put together, and there's actually like some thought and originality in it. I loved it, I really did, and that surprised the shit out of me.
How great was it when the guy's like, I got he's in like his safe room. He's in the safe basically, and he tells X, "You're not gonna get in here."
And he just
the fucking acid. He's like, "I didn't think of that," and he turns the acid gun from the safe onto the safe.
This is a spoiler alert, but it's basically. One of the villains, this is how badass he is. He cuts his arm off and then sends him in to like a room full of other badasses just to be like just to have followed him. Cut his fucking arm off and turned it into sausage.
Yeah,
who does that and not vote Republican? Like, it's great.
Oh man!
I guess what we're saying is we recommend it. Like, very, very.
I cannot wait for X #1. I'm so fucking thrilled.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's one of the handful of new series that I'm really looking forward to. I recommend it strongly.
Yes, Batgirl 19, where she finally beats the snot out of her brother, deservedly so.
Well, the brother shoots their mom.
He fucks her up a lot.
The mom shoots the brother.
The brother admits to taking a finger that Joker cut off of his mother, and he threw it in the dumpster. So now his mother's like, 4-finger Susie or whatever, which is fine. 4 fingers, do a lot with. Yeah. Okay.
4-finger Francine.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? To the people
went
to
there.
stink.
They went there.
Yeah. Anyways, and then they met up. They fought. Except the mom kind of set up the meat, and she pulls the trigger and she shoots him. Spoiler alert. Yeah, fuck it.
No, I just said it.
And he falls. Yeah, I don't listen to you. He falls to his death, but it's not his death.
What is it with fucking Batman villains and falling down cliffs lately?
No, into the water. It's not even that far. Probably 20.
He's an awesome villain, but he was last good in Detective Comics.
This is a segue to me into like what Batman, like all the like post-Robin Batman stuff. They've gone back to back with these like big fucking sagas, right? They did, the Owl, the Death of a Family, right. Requiem. I thought the way they killed Robin was really lousy.
Yeah.
And the aftermath has been like really not good. Like they did, the one issue where it's pretty much almost entirely silent. Batman basically just going out and beating the horse shit out of everyone. That was good. I enjoyed that. Now they have him like trying to resurrect Frankenstein to get. Yeah,
that was. It was silly.
What issue did I miss?
That was Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Terrible.
Literally?
Batman and Red Robin was that?
He disassembles Frankenstein as like, I am going to resurrect my son. Like, it's a horrible book. Wow. Yeah. And it feels to me like that it's just really lazy storytelling. Like, the artwork's fine. Like, I have nothing against the artist. Right. But like editorially, like, you are just fucking the monkey on this one.
It's cliche-ic, I think. Like what you would expect. It's not anything interesting.
And it's not interesting, and it's like all really badly overblown.
If anything, they should have gone Lazarus Pit. That would have been more acceptable.
Or just done something like
would have been logical.
No, or like just do something, take a left turn, make it interesting. Yeah. Like this shit is just, it's like, wow, really, man? Like fucking really? Like there's a scene, Batman, crazy mad scientist gloves. Fucking Frankenstein, disassembled, still talking, and I'm like...
What do you know about Black Lantern fucking Robin?
Oh, dude, man. I was just looking at it and I was like, this is dumb. Like, it's not even like I was offended. I was like, this is just fucking dumb, B. Like, and I feel like that's how it is with a lot of the Bat books. Like, whoever's in charge of the editorial...
I gotta fix my crotch a minute.
Man, I felt that on my knee. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I'm a married man. I mean, I like you. I just don't like you in a Viking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, my point is though, is that like editorially, I feel like the whole Bat continuum is just fucking ruined.
Well, no, I like
you like the new Batman.
I like Batman because they're pushing the villains.
I kind of like it too.
Especially Dark Knight's been doing fantastic. With Scarface,
I like the
Scarecrow.
The Scarecrow,
and then now it's Mad Hatter. He's a real fucking sicko.
Dude,
and what's his face? Clayface. His powers is mutated, so when he touches you, he like literally takes your DNA as well.
Yeah.
So he's like a true perfect copycat.
That's why Bruce Wayne is fucking shooting.
You know why I liked it? Because I didn't really expect. I knew it wasn't Bruce Wayne. No, or maybe he was being.
But you weren't expecting Clayface.
I wasn't really expecting Clayface. I think it was just a nice.
That. And I'm a sucker for Greg Capullo's art. I've loved his shit since the '90s. Like he's and all his like his whole like fucking time on Spawn only got better and better. Yeah. Like I remember when I first saw his artwork in Quasar back in like fucking 1992. And I thought, like, this is some really, like, just clean work, and it's just gotten better and better. Like, if for the artwork alone you want to get into it.
We're that old.
Hey, man. Hey.
We came
comic dorks.
From
we don't
really
die. We don't of old age.
Of
we die of virginity or getting some sort of, the sperm back.
Cut.
Well, I was going to say, like, the virginity part, like, the sperm just backs up into your lungs.
Oh.
And you see white lights, and then you just fucking go down. It's no good.
Speaking of dying, Colonized, before we get to Marvel.
Surprisingly good.
Oh, that was pretty funny, man.
Aliens versus zombies. Funny.
They open like a little portal to somewhere, and a zombie pops out. And
they just spaz out. They're like,
running around the fucking aircraft.
It was damn good.
They crash land on Earth in like some redneck society.
In like the middle of a funeral or something.
Yeah.
Like, You read it. It's funny. It almost feels like you're reading like the Goon. It's
got that mentality.
It's got that same sort of morbid humor, and it's funny. Like the aliens
all the people just like with their shotguns and shit, and the aliens run off and they hide behind the people like save us, save us.
They're like, there's a scene where it's like when they see they pick up like, oh look, there's a human down there. He's walking around. Poor little guy must be scared. Let's bring him on the ship. He comes on, he's a zombie, and they're like, kill it with fire. And like they have no fucking fire. They're on a spaceship.
It's a good book.
It's good. It's actually very good. And the artwork's good. I was actually curious to see where this is gonna go.
I'm glad I just picked that up on the web.
Image.
Surprisingly, Image is doing good shit. Actually.
When they do their little mini series, they're really good.
Almost everything's a miniseries.
Well, except
for Invincible, Walking Dead,
Spawn.
They're going the radical route, which was to try to make shit that could possibly be spawned into a movie.
Don't talk to me about radical.
Okay, but
I'm still waiting for a finish on Damage.
Let's stay with that point. Invincible and Walking Dead. They're both by the same creator.
Ooh, Saga they do also. It's awesome.
But what's his name? What's his name? Rob Kirkman.
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman. Invincible as a series has been one of the best. And I think I've said this whenever I'm on the show. It's still awesome. One of the best, just straight ahead superhero.
You're the one that got me on it. Yeah, you're the fucking best.
It's still one of the best straight ahead super.
It must be underrated, right? Because you don't really hear. People talk about
it. No, it's loved.
Everybody loves it.
Is this what we're talking about? The Invincible Universe?
Yeah. Okay. So with Invincible, Robert Kirkman created this really fun superhero universe that has like all the elements of the classic shit. There's a constantly changing status quo, but you always take it seriously. There's a huge cast of characters,
huge amounts of depth too.
Lots of like he's not afraid to shake shit up, but it's like. He doesn't do it in the same sort of like hackneyed like let's reboot everything kind of bullshit way. Like it's genuinely fun to watch. Like the most recent issue, or I think it was the last issue of Invincible. Invincible somehow got tricked into like helping a villain like blow up half the fucking planet.
Yeah, so far like 900,000 are dead confirmed.
And like rising.
Yeah.
And he had a whole super team, the Guardians of the Globe. And they had a couple of miniseries that were really fun reads. Yeah. And now he's doing something called Invincible Universe, which like merges everything. It's like it can be any character from within that realm at any time, and it's great fucking fun. It's well written. The art is good. It's clear, and you don't feel like you're being cheated out of like all the continuity that came before it. Like that's the thing. He's not afraid to like change the status quo, but then leave all the shit behind it. Like, you don't feel like you've been cheated out of anything before it by like, oh look, we've jumped into an alternate fucking time stream where the motherfucker cornholed goats and monkeys for like his youth.
No, seriously.
Back to cornholing.
Listen, you never really leave.
Is that a pun?
Hardmaster.
Yeah, Hardmaster.
Yeah. But I guess the point is, first issue of Invincible Universe, I strongly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's by the guy. It's
jump
a
on
different
friendly because I've never read
incredibly
it.
jump on
Are
friendly.
they up to like 140s? What are they up to now?
They're up to 110 or something like that.
Yeah,
and Walking Dead's up to 109.
Yeah,
so
and like
it's hard to run at the same time.
I gotta say this about Rob Kirk. Dude knows how to juggle continuity. He does it really well. There couldn't be no two titles more different than Walking Dead and Invincible, and he does a great job with both of them. Like it's 100+ issues. Name 3 comic book series that now have lasted into the hundreds. They've rebooted Spider-Man like 5 times in the time that it took.
And from an indie book.
And from an indie series. So I'm just saying, that's an endorsement.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of Spidey, Avenging Spider-Man 19. You had this to checked off.
Sleepwalker. I checked it off just to
Sleepwalker.
talk about it.
Who the fuck asked for Sleepwalker?
Exactly. That's what...
No, I mean... There's a lot of older characters they're trying to do a push with. Like Darkhawk's still around.
Darkhawk's pretty cool though.
But this is what I understand about...
We're gonna see Slapstick next.
I think he was killed off though.
I hope so.
When Avenging Spider-Man started, we didn't know it was Octavius.
Right.
We just assumed it was Peter Parker.
Well, it wasn't Octavius.
Well, at first it was, but recently it just...
11 or 12, or 13.
I thought it was always. I thought that was the whole point.
No. Avenging Spider-Man
took place
was...
in the future.
No.
Okay. But Sleepwalker's involved, and they're talking about his childhood, his father used to hit him, and... Just a lot of nonsense stuff there.
Excuse me. Because that's how much I care about Sleepwalker.
Peter Parker wants his body back, which we all know. Like, there's nothing new. There's no new information.
Was he... did he save, again, another member of the Sinister Six? Because that's what Ock's been doing
Not in
lately.
Avenging Spider-Man.
Yeah, keeping him in tubes and shit.
Yeah, he rescued Sandman
with...
from the Freedom Foundation headquarters from the Baxter Building. That was in the last issue of Avenging Spider-Man.
It has nothing to do with that other part of the main story. It's just like a side...
But it is humanizing Octopus. So maybe they're trying to turn him into some kind of
don't even say it.
A tortured soul that went bad and will eventually
Everybody's
become
a fucking tortured soul in the comics nowadays. No villain ever just grows up to be an asshole. Like fucking Thanos. We're doing the Thanos journey.
Thanos Rising.
Thank you.
I haven't read it.
Thanos Rising, and he's they're showing him as a little kid on fucking Titan.
I didn't like that.
I think you could just have a villain be a
It
villain.
was interesting enough.
Nothing wrong with
again,
evil.
We're always doing.
Well, I mean, Pete, to be fair, they did try that whole Dr. Asshole series, but it didn't go over as well as people thought. I mean,
Because they were expecting something else.
They're expecting something else, and lo and behold, Dr. Asshole. I mean, how many times can you do that?
Well, who does Dr. Asshole always end up fighting?
Captain
The
Dickface.
Hardmaster.
That's true. And the Hardmaster.
Dr. Horrible was awesome.
Oh, Jesus.
Just gonna throw that out there.
But Sleepwalker. So once you hear Sleepwalker, it's when's the last time he was around? 1991.
Who cares?
Point.
Let's talk.
And
Let's
they got
talk
the
Age of
father-
Ultron for
They
a
got his
second.
name
Oh.
too.
Because I need to hear what you think of this.
Yes.
You happen to have a command of vocabulary.
It's on issue 5. Listen, this is the most ballsack draggingest storyline I've ever fucking seen.
That's an image, man.
We are on issue 5,
hurts too, right?
and it feels like I have elephantitis of the cannonball testicles, and they're dragging behind me as I walk through a hot gravel fucking driveway. Listen.
How does
On
he
a
come
90
up with
90
this
degree
shit?
day?
90
What is
degree
going
day.
on in here?
Because listen.
here.
It took 5 issues to get to what should have been page 3 of issue 1. I want that on record. I didn't need to see She-Hulk get shot in the fucking head for like no real plot points. Like, what?
Ultron took over. That's the plot.
I mean, the plot. Like,
They
no,
already
seriously,
said that they're
it
not
took-
going to tell you how Ultron took over.
Did you read
They
Thanos
just don't
Rising?
care.
What?
Did you read Thanos Rising?
I don't give a fuck. Like,
Because
here's the thing.
That's what I said about what you just said. That where they got to the end of that issue 1, they could take care of his whole
a
thing
page,
in one.
right?
It's the whole story in one book instead of bringing it out in 5 or 6.
Every
books.
comic book's a movie now.
No, but one of the points.
Hold
Let
on.
me put it to you like this: remember back in the day, you could tell a superhero's origin in a page,
Yeah.
like 8 panels. You were like, Peter Parker was given many wedgies in school, then he went to a fucking lab,
Right.
got bit by a
You
spider.
don't need a whole book to do
Right.
it. Yeah.
Decompressed.
Now they're going to do that in 5 books.
Dude, decompressed storytelling has a point. Like you're like, okay, we're gonna tell a really detailed story that shows real heroic art. Like, I don't need to know that like Thanos had fucking hemorrhoids in the 8th grade, was teased about it because it went up to his chin, and that's why he's fucking like blowing up.
That's why he looks like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Is Ultron going to be in a movie?
I don't
That's
know.
the only reason why I think they would do such a push. Thanos, he's going to be in a movie.
Thanos.
We all know this.
Thanos. Then I like that more. Thanos, because of the anus. With
That's
anyway,
it.
Thanos.
whatever.
So that makes sense. At least they're giving us Thanos.
No, but even
But Ultron, I just don't
you
get.
still don't have to stretch it out. You
Yeah.
you have it one story.
Like here's
Yeah,
the
because you
spoiler.
definitely don't want Thanos
The
stretched
spoiler-
out.
You don't want Thanos
That
stretched
anus
out.
stretched out at all.
Hard master. All I can say to this though is in all seriousness with this is that it took 5 issues for them to be like, oh, we're gonna take a time machine and go back and fuck everything up. Like,
right, you could have got to that. If you're gonna get there in 3
right.
pages, 5 pages.
And listen, here's what fucks me up. This story was worked on for so long.
A long time.
Was worked on for
It's
so
been
long
hyped, too.
that the characters in the story aren't up to date with
They're
everything
not.
else going on.
Iron
Like,
Man's not up to date.
Iron Man's not up to
Wolverine
date.
isn't.
Wolverine.
Costume is
Speaking of
bad.
Wolverine now, wait, they're going to... Newsarama released the covers of issue 9, which is the final
and
issue
7.
of Ultron.
And apparently what's going to happen
It's 7, I
is
thought it
this.
was 9.
7 and 9. Apparently Wolverine... So, issue 5, if you haven't already read it, which I'm assuming you fucking have, and that's why you're watching this fucking show, like, basically, a bunch of guys like, we're going to go in the future, and, like, butt-fuck Ultron in the future. And it's not even like contemporary fucking Samuel L. Jackson... Nick Fury, who they've brought into the mainstream universe. It's old white guy Nick Fury, who's like supposedly
They're
dying.
completely confused.
That's
on
the
it.
other thing. They don't
Yeah,
know.
but that's
One
what I'm
issue
saying.
it's like it's completely.
Like they spend a lot of time working on something that doesn't quite work. So the other half is that Wolverine is like, I'm gonna go in the past and fucking like 86 fucking Hank Pym.
Yeah.
So the covers for issue 7 and 9 are Wolverine killing himself.
I think that's...
Which I've been waiting for since like 1997.
Marvel's been
so I'm
doing
into it, but-
variants like every month. Like I think one month was all fucking Iron Mans, different variety of
There
Iron
was
Mans.
this past week.
Okay, so
was,
that's this
all
month.
Iron
In the
shit.
post-
So I guess when that covers come out, it's all different Marvel variant. I mean Wolverine variants.
Well, the thing is that in the post-Ultron universe, they've already shown like some of the series that are coming out after this. Here's one because there aren't enough Avengers books. Avengers AI, which is going to be like
artificial intelligence.
yeah, it's going to be like the Vision and like 7 D-list characters,
Exactly.
including like a renegade.
Because the
I've been
Vision
waiting
himself
for
is
something
D-list
like
shit.
that.
For years,
it's
right?
about time.
I was hoping that after this they would do fucking the book I've been waiting for, which is Avengers Herpes, which shows all the characters with venereal swords banding together.
That's actually West Coast Avengers.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's coming back
It's
soon.
coming.
Know it's coming.
Hardmaster.
Let's move on from this and speaking of Avengers, Thor VII.
All right, this story's still going on with that fucking
With the
God Killer. Yeah,
Wait,
That's never gonna
his
end,
name
is
is Gore.
Gore. Yeah,
He's the God Killer.
Gore,
Okay,
the
so
God Killer.
it's a gory story
And he
with
invented
Gore,
the internet.
who's fighting Thor. So it's it's a gory Gore versus Thor.
but now it's Thor and also it's okay.
So it's a gory
past
Gore
Thor
versus
who
Thor
first met
and
him.
Did they
Thor.
send the Thor
Present
against
Thor, that's coming up. Present Thor,
President
who just
Gore?
remembered him
What is that?
and dealing with
Invented the internet and climate.
bastards. And then there's future Thor, who's took over the throne of Asgard, so he's like the All-Father, fighting him too.
You probably need an Asgard to
So
protect against whom?
The Hardmaster.
Bastards.
The Hardmaster bastard makes you go faster. What?
So there's all these 3 Thors fighting Gore, and then the president
The
bastards.
hard master eventually become the soft master.
I think, and then they end up the blind master.
Only because then everybody should just
The present Thor goes to the future where the older Thor
when they go in a
insults
fight.
him
So
to
like
no
it,
end.
there's
There's like a
gives
full
him a
page
bunch of
art
booze,
then they go out to fight Gore. There's rye
I know that.
whiskey and there's this wine over here, ale, lagers. It's crazy. I thought of you.
Those aren't whiskeys. Those are
No, I know. It was a drunk.
You know what I'm waiting for in stories like this is the scene where someone says "go fuck yourself" and someone's like,
And Thor's getting mad ass in this shit too. There's like one scene he's with Sif and some other chick just who's like
Was it Jane
unconscious.
Foster?
No, this is past Thor.
She was asleep or she was like unconscious. Like were they fucking raping her?
I think they were
was it
both. They
something
were both
from Kids?
fucking.
Like, shh, just me and Casper. Just me and Casper. Shh.
I have no legs.
I have no legs.
That was a fucked up movie,
Yeah.
man.
Nothing captured New York City in the '90s better than Kids. But I
All the
digress.
bitches
Oh,
love
Jesus,
me 'cause
I
I'm
remember
fucking
that.
Casper. It's a classic though. If you've never seen it, seriously,
That's-
rent it.
I don't know how we went from Thor to
To
Casper.
The
Anyway,
kids.
Yeah, you're sick bastards. That's all I'm saying to them.
I don't
Sick
know, man.
bastards.
but all I know is this: is that Thor needs something like this. Like, I don't love the route that they're going with it, but they kind of have hit a wall with some of the stories they've told with him.
They're trying to change him. Like recently, he's been more fun, outgoing. He's shared beer with the Punisher.
But dude,
that was awesome.
Dude, there's been stories like that in the past where they're like, we
but
don't
not
have
consistent.
They're making him less
No.
regal-like. They're making him more
No,
accessible.
they're making it.
like,
Yeah,
I think more accessible.
Well, Odin's gone now, so he has to kind of,
Take
you know,
charge.
whatever.
take-
That shit comes and goes in these stories.
Yeah,
All
it
I
does.
can
He
say
always
is,
comes and
yeah,
goes.
like whatever. I like drinking.
That's what a lot of
stabs.
Kings of the Gods
Listen,
did. They came, then they left. Before you know it, there was a guy with a bull head running around. Who the hell knows?
Like the hard master.
just like all the things my mommy used to tell me when I was anyway.
At camp.
My thing is, I think like some of the books, like Captain America, Thor, they're trying new stuff because they. Know
I don't
some
like
of
the new Captain America.
I don't love
shit.
it. I don't love it.
I
I don't love it.
The Arnim Zola another dimension thing.
But I love
it needs to stop already.
They're dragging that shit out for
Yeah.
another.
It used to be. Have you noticed that they drag it out now? Like to 7, 8, 9 issues. It used to be like 5 to 6.
Maybe
Yeah,
the same.
listen, it's better. Listen, it's better than the DC stuff where they don't even wait for the paint to dry on the status quo before they're like, no, fuck that. Let's make it so that he was molested by a fucking clown at fucking a bar mitzvah in 1978. And that's why he's actually a hero.
We had a moment.
Moment? Was it? Huh? Huh? All I know is my eyes are burning. I mean, the Captain America stuff. Rick Remender is heavily channeling fucking Jack Kirby in those books.
I know.
Yeah.
And the art world looks good. You're right. They're dragging this shit on way too long. But I'd rather experiment with new shit as opposed to doing what DC is doing, which is just really terrible. I can't really read most DC books anymore. Like, I just can't do it. Even Green Lantern, which
Green Lantern is right now is shit.
We used to
It's
love that
10
book.
different types of shit. It's
Yeah. Batman
Let's
is.
not even talk about it.
I can't stand reading.
I really don't
Superman
mind
books
it.
At this point. You're
You like this White Lantern shit?
I want to see where it's going.
First Lantern. There's so many
We haven't
fucking
even solved the
lanterns.
problem with the Guardians yet. I want to know where it's going. I'm stuck now.
They skipped it.
But,
They did
but
so.
the point of it is though is that to me is my major.
And no, I'm not
breach.
reading Superman at all.
Is that DC at this point
Surprised?
is doing like really just lazy storytelling with like retconning shit and just be, you know what I'm saying? Like every 2 minutes they tear up the tracks and try to like make this will make us much more appealing to the the people reading it and shit. But it's like it's almost totally not entertaining and it's I can tell you this. My 3-year-old son knows who Batman is, but he knows it from the cartoons, right?
The good shit.
Right. And he's seen the Avengers movies and knows who those guys are, and he can pick up a comic book and there are enough stories told about like Marvel characters that he can pick up a book and he recognizes even the like esoteric characters, and there's at least one version of the story out there that he can read right now where it's like, okay, as a parent, I'm cool with you reading this. It's also getting you into it. With all the stuff that DC is doing, like I can't let my kid read Batman and Robin because Robin just got killed. Like that's some heavy shit to have to tell a little kid. And most of the Batman stories they have taken so dark and like so left turn from like continuity that like it wouldn't even be recognizable. Like you know what I'm saying? Superman is now like this tortured man god, in like a fucking high collar battle armor. Wonder Woman is mean as shit.
I'm still liking Wonder Woman.
It's a good story, but like the characterization, like I'm saying, like they retconned all the cool shit that went with any of these characters out.
Their personalities aren't the same.
Yeah, the personalities are, and where they are the same to us is for shit that never happened now, right? Like
we're still trying to make it the same as what the characters
Right.
remember
They haven't gotten there yet.
pre-Flash.
and that I mean, for me, it's like this. Marvel still gives a shit about the old people who are reading it like us, but they still want to get kids like my son to pick up a book and be like, "This is." Cool.
I said it a while back. We were asked to compare Marvel now with what DC has done post Flashpoint with the New 52, and it's really like DC just changed everything. They changed their entire status quo, whereas Marvel now just put a bunch of names in a hat, shook it up, and here's the Avengers.
Yeah, and then but they put in the All Stars with them, and they gave enough different versions of the Avengers where it's like anybody can
almost too many.
Shit, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a lot of
books.
there are, but at the same time, you can be like, oh, Avengers Assemble. That's the Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. I recognize that shit,
guys.
and maybe some of the parts have moved and shit, but like, okay, this is a story that I can work with. This is a good jump on.
Do you notice that it's almost impossible to pick up a single character's book without guest stars galore? All over. They are interacting in a way that they never did in the comics when we were growing up.
But Marvel, DC.
Marvel.
Yeah, but you know
DC
what
does it too.
I refer to
DC's
that,
horrible.
but I refer to that as like the rap album format. No one can do a single album anymore without having guest stars on every fucking track. Like it clearly sells. It moves units. So you can't be that mad, and also creates that continuity.
I'm not mad. I'm just making a
No, you're absolutely right.
Like
They've been doing this since the '90s, where they'll pick like a go-to character and have him show up in fucking everything. Like remember when Ghost Rider was hot?
Early
He was
90s,
in
Everything. X-Men, remember that?
He was in like My Little Pony. Like you couldn't fucking escape Ghost
Rise
Rider.
of the Midnight Suns, bro. That was fucking.
God. Hey, let's see if we can add like 7 more Ghost Riders. That'll be hot.
Where is he now?
Yeah, now he works at a fucking Dairy Queen in Passaic.
Now
New Jersey.
Nicolas Cage killed him officially.
Oh god.
Wow, after he peed fire, I was like, if there was a better fucking biopic.
And they repeated that
of him,
scene twice because just in case it didn't burn its way into your fucking
retinas the first time.
Wait, in the movie he peed fire?
yeah.
I haven't
The
seen
kid asks him, "How do you pee?" And then there's just like,
And then he goes, "It burns!" Like he's been
Maybe
to a
he's got some sort of,
and like all you
what
see
you
is
get
like
for
the
feeding
rider
or
is standing there from the back and like a flamethrower coming out of his cock, and he turns back to you like he laughs.
He laughs.
I'm glad I
happens
never
after
saw
a
that
night-
movie.
But I'm saying, this is what happens after a night in Vegas.
And
I
you
don't know
thought
what
the
to say.
first Ghost Rider was bad. Just for the record.
Remember that miniseries Ghost Riders? That was really bad.
No.
Ever since then, you don't remember that?
No.
It's like, you lying? That you
No, I really don't remember it.
Well,
My brain has officially blocked
it was
that shit
bad.
out.
Okay.
You
Ever
lying
since
to me
then,
in front of the internet?
Ghost Rider kinda
Because
died.
they're going to remember this moment, Pete. You don't want to lie in front of the internet.
Good segue, because speaking of remembering things, we have a bit of an announcement. We're going to close the show with this one. Before we do, Alex Milko, please send us your address, and we are going to send you your very own copy of G.I. Joe number 21 from IDW. It's a solo General Hawk story, and it is fucking awesome because General Hawk is the man. So be sure to send us your address. But we do have a bit of an announcement, guys. As of this week, the Pete's Basement Show is going on a bit of a hiatus. We're going to take spring off, and we're going to retool the show. We're going to retool the set. We're not going to retool the lovely faces you see before you. There's really not much, we can do about that. We've tried, but no amount of plastic surgery is going to save this. But we are going to use all of the Indiegogo funds, and we are going to recreate ourselves. It's still going to have the same, level of general stupidity you've grown accustomed to, but Roger and Steve are going to work tirelessly on redoing the graphics process and reworking the editing process and all of that stuff. And in the interim, just like Marvel Now has been doing with these little 0.1 issues and shit, what we are going to do is we are going to have whatever episode number this is. Steve will let us know, because Steve is like the king of numbers. Steve knows fucking numbers, man. And let's say this is season 6, episode 21. We're going to have next week episode 21.1, 21.2, and etc. until we come back just in time for the beginning of summer. We are still going to be in touch. We will still be maintaining the Facebook. You will still see YouTube videos of each of us making our own just quick videos just to keep in touch, keep reviewing comics, because we're doing what we enjoy doing. The only thing different about the show is going to be no crazy graphics. Like this! That was just for Roger, just so he could hate me for the weekend. I see the look in his eyes right now, he fucking hates me. But that's okay, because he won't have to hate me for the next 8 weeks or so.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I know he will. He'll find other reasons.
DeLuca!
Damn you fucking guinea bastard. So guys, we'll see you next week.
And we will still be answering questions.
Yep.
Send them our way. It's just going to be a little less formal. Less formal.
Right.
And we promise we will not let
And a lot less production quality.
We promise Ramon will not be allowed to show his nipples.
Don't even... No.
You could tell he was
waiting for
your peripheral.
And we won't show any dick flicks. And therefore you will be safe. And also my parole officer will not be knocking on my door at 3 in the morning again.
Hell, we'll still even be doing contests. Can I do the G.I. Joe contest?
Oh, no.
God,
I tell you what, I'll let you show your fucking nipple if I can do the G.I. Joe contest. Can I do the G.I. Joe contest?
No. Cut here. Please, God, no more nipple. I can't do any more nipple. I've seen enough players nipple at this point.
Guys, you still know how to keep in touch with us. It is and always shall remain. Questions at Pete'sBasement.com, Facebook.com/Pete'sBasement, and follow us on Twitter now more than ever for up-to-the-minute comic reviews. We'll see you next week, and we will see all of you come summer.
June-ish.
Just in time for tank tops and titties. I got a high five out of that one.
I'm going to show you something.
All right.
You know they always say there are no ugly babies?
That's not true. There are ugly babies.
Yeah, no, it's
babies.
completely true. There's some babies that look like the vagina throw
They
up.
have ugly children.
Hold on.
I would love to see an ugly baby.
You want to see an ugly baby?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Get in there. Give me 1 second.
Is the baby British?
What is it?
Look at that baby.
Holy they're digging a special Pete's Basement pit of hell just for us.
The 9th level. Right under Satan's ass crack.
Red Hulk?
We're gonna get
The devil shall fart on us for all of eternity. Eternity's a long time, man.
Don't tell me,
Ass
man.
crack?
You ever been to a Jewish wedding?
His name's gotta be Larry. I don't care what his
My
name
name's
was.
Larry,
His
fine.
fucking name was Larry.
I was cloned from a piece of ass here from one of the original Three Stooges. My life isn't very good.
Man, so who knows?
I'm gonna exert self-control.
What are you, new?
Kiss my shiny puckered ass.